women's 66 kilo category then about to get underway here in Tbilisi on day 4 of our coverage from the European Weightlifting Championships here on Eurosport. Expert Kyla Breeze alongside me. We've got to be honest, we think we're looking at probably a 3-horse race in this 8-woman field today with the 2 Russians and Ukraine. Hopefully someone else can get in amongst it as well.
Yeah, I think we've got 3 athletes that are head and shoulders above the rest. All of them have starting weights of 100 kilos on the snatch or higher. At the moment we're seeing the bottom end of the A group. But it'll be interesting to see not just how far these athletes can go, but how close they can push to personal bests.
Well, coming in first up, Mehtap Kunas at 82 kilos. We thought we were going to see Anna Every, who competed against you a few years back in the World Championships, not in the same group. I hasten to add Every finishing way down the field, but still going. She was due to come out at 81, but has turned that down. So Kunas opens the competition on 82. That brings the Polish athlete Ostapska out onto the stage at the same weight. So at least we're going to have quite an interesting start to this one, with quite a few athletes coming in at the same weight. Just looking at Ostapska's PBs, she's recorded 90 in the snatch, so should have a bit of room for manoeuvre here if she can get this first one away nice and clean.
Not too many issues. Sits into quite a comfortable position in the bottom, and that's the problem with it. It's a comfortable position. It's not a position where she's really stressed or under pressure. She looks too easy. I want to see these lifters really fighting for these weights, putting themselves under pressure. There's a good few more kilos there if she wants it. In terms of technique and position, pretty tight.
26 years of age and looking very much experienced athletes on the stage, but this is the most experienced in terms of her years competing at this level. Anna Every has moved up from the 58 kilo category into this 63 kilo category, and she's coming in at 83 instead of 81, so a little bit of cat and mouse early doors in this snatch competition. Finnish athlete then with her first lift.
Well, that's a big starting weight. She's increased it, as you just said, from 81 to 83, personal best of 84. So that was only set last year, and as you said, she's been lifting for a number of years. So always good to see an athlete of this age moving in the right direction and continuing to progress. I believe that's something that's possible right through the years if your training is sound. If you look after your body, it's possible to continue improving at the highest levels.
She enjoyed that one as well. It's a big smile for the judges, and a very good start to this competition for Every. Brings Ostapska back out. Ostapska's got a couple of lifts to play with here after that solid opener.
She's got a best of 90. I'm surprised she's coming straight back out on just 84. I mean, succeeded quite comfortably with 82. I was hoping to see a slightly bigger increase between first and second attempt, but you never know. She may have been suffering with injuries or confidence problems.
Well, it's all kept pretty close to the chest, isn't it? Not a lot of coaches and athletes are going to divulge what's going on in the training gyms, so we can only surmise that she's been a little bit off form. A little bit laboured away in the pull, but again using that experience from the low position to complete the lift. All very solid from Ostapska.
Again, looks fairly comfortable.
But your argument is looking too comfortable.
It's just lacking spark, it's lacking fire. I mean, it looks a bit one speed as the bar comes off the floor. It doesn't really accelerate like you'll see some athletes through the second part of the lift. But position-wise, really, really good.
Yeah, some good tidy lifting from both she and Every. And Kunas coming back into it now. She was solid as well with her opener at 82, so steps back at 85. I think we'll see Every come in again at this weight as well for her second lift. Always nice when it's good and busy at the start of the snatch competition. Don't want to see too many lifters following themselves. So, as for Turkey. Oh, just about. Did well to control that overhead in the end.
She did, nearly went behind. I'm not sure who's dealing with the colour coordinations of the Turkish athletes. Red lifting suit and pink tracksuit jackets. Okay, interesting. Here, nearly lost it behind, steadied herself before standing up. That's a good fight. More of a gutsy attempt.
Well done from the other youngster, the other teenager in here. We haven't seen the youngest athlete, Likacheva. She's still to come out. From Kumas. Well, Every had a little dabble putting 85 down, but has actually opted to go to 86. And you'd have to say, on the basis of that opening lift from Every, she should make this.
This will be a new weight in competition. 84 is the heaviest she's ever done on the international stage. And there we are, 86. You can see the smile. Looked fairly comfortable as well. I think she's going to have a good pop at maybe 88 on a third attempt. She should be pleased. This is a good day so far.
Yeah, good form from the fin, nice and snappy.
What makes the lift snappy is that acceleration as the bar passes the knees, the attack, and that's where all the power is generated. That's where all the upward momentum is gained. And then you see some of these athletes receiving, feet nice and flat on the floor, really solid receiving position.
I think that's one of the elements, though, that doesn't always come across for those of us that don't know as much about weightlifting, watching from home maybe and new to this sport. The timing to get that right and control that weight is incredible. That's a lot of hours in the gym to make that happen.
Oh yes, it is, many hours. These athletes are training not just once but twice, sometimes 3 times a day, usually 5 or 6 days a week. And when they're not training, they're recovering, they're not going out partying, they're really focused on the pushing the body and then recovering. It's a tough life. It's an open season sport as well, so we compete all year round. There's not much downtime.
Stupska's last lift then in the snatch at 86 is successful. Big smile from her, and that's a very solid opener to her competition. And we're seeing a lot of good, clean lifts here, so not a lot of risks being taken by some of the more experienced lifters here, just looking to post a number.
Lovely extension at the top. A lot of coaches will coach to rip the bar off the floor, pull it as high as possible, but you can see these athletes, when they're technically sound, they get the full extension and they drop under. There's no hesitation at the top with them pulling and shrugging any higher. They're dropping underneath while the bar's still moving upwards.
So the timing comes in. It's not just about brute force and ignorance. There's a lot of finesse to this sport that isn't always acknowledged. Really good lift from this young lady last time out. Junior competitor, did well under pressure to control it, and nearly goes out the back door again. That's phenomenal strength.
Really good save. 87 kilos, personal best of 90, a fraction below that. But back in 2012, she won a bronze medal at the World Under-17 Championships and a bronze medal at the European Under-17s. So she's come through the youth ranks. She's obviously doing well as a junior, but she's now on the senior platform and showing what she's made of. Good extension, fast to the bottom, sits into such a deep position. You're allowed to take a step forward. You can run around that platform any way you like, so long as you stand still before the referees give you the down signal.
Great work from Kunas then, 87, so a kilo heavier than Ostapska. And Every already in uncharted water for the Finn with that 86 kilo lift in the last round. Can she make it 3 in a row with this 88 attempt?
It's there. Oh, no!
Nearly spoke too soon. That's unusual.
Commentator's fate, isn't it?
Dear me.
Well, you thought she was coming straight up with that. It's not very often you see an athlete stand and then go back down. Just needed a second to steady herself before losing it behind. You can see here, she thinks she's got it, standing up. No, on her heels. Now she's okay.
I love that change of expression there. She thought she was in trouble. Great recovery, though, from Every for 88. So good lively start to this women's 63 kilo category in the snatch competition, and we've seen some really good disciplined lifting, but now the weight's moving up. Ari Martinez of Spain comes out at 90. And from Martinez's point of view, just 3 kilos under her PB. So this is the first of the bigger risks that we're seeing here. And the Spaniard is just home.
Well, that stagger forwards was a result of what happened before the bar even came off the floor. You can see that from the side angle. You'll see that her shoulders were so far forwards of the bar. Everything then is going to pull her onto her toes. Very high. Backside was almost in line with the shoulders in the starting position. The chest and the shoulders should be above the hips. Ends up being a big strain on the lower back. I'd like to see her sit in a little bit deeper in the start position, really drive the chest up. That should correct that fault at the end.
It's the physics of lifting, equal and opposites and all that. You will see a reaction to something that has happened earlier in the lift, and it happens on a pretty regular basis when the athletes don't quite get their discipline or their timing right. So Italy, their time to enter the competition through Giorgia Bordinot. Bordinot in at 93. The Italian, 27 years of age now, so joint oldest competitor along with Evry. Picked up that 5th position at the last European Championships. Has a PB of 100, so we'll be looking for her to be around that. And if she is around that, then she has every chance of equaling her result from last year.
Well, a little unstable in the body and the deep squat position. That will come with maturity, that will come with practice and years in the gym. But a very solid opening attempt. She looks confident, she looks in good shape. See how she drives upwards with the chest. That was the point I was trying to make previously. Body slightly twisted. That's going to cause her back problems later if she's not careful. Good leg drive, speed under the bar. Stands up, no problem. Tiller strapping on her knee. That's not going to hamper her in the competition though.
So we're on at 93. Successful. That brings Martinez back to the stage. Martinez deciding not to go up in any smaller increments, just going to go straight to her PB. So this is to equal her best snatch lifting competition. Second lift for her. And again, that little bit of forward motion, but not as pronounced this time around. So successful lift. Puts Martinez in business.
She's going to be, we can see the frustration in her face there. There's nothing to be worried about because she's in the competition. She's just nailed that lift. But as with most of these lifters, they want it to be perfect. They want it to feel good. And a lot of this sport is about the proprioception, how it feels. And if something's not firing quite right, it's going to feel heavy. They say a skillful performer can make it look effortless and perform efficiently with ease.
Bordinot and Martinez, good starts to the competition, but a lively start from Evry, Kumaz and Ostapska. Evry coming out the best of those early encounters on 88 kilos. So Martinez waiting behind stage to come back out again. Looks like she might follow herself back out at 95. We're starting to move into some decent numbers here. Got another little mini battle developing potentially here between Martinez and Bordinot, although Bordinot does have the superior PB.
You know, we've been talking about 3 lifters here that look like they're out in front and are uncatchable. I'm not sure I agree with that right now. I think we've got the rest of the field here are fighting it out, and it's a close battle. But it only takes one person, one of those top 3, to slip up and make a mistake for it to be wide open for the rest of these athletes. So the competition really is quite fierce at the moment. Yes, and that has gauged some of the decisions that the more experienced athletes have made here to get a number on the board and then just see if Kalina Lamova or Lukacheva, stepping up onto the big stage from the junior ranks, messes up. It does happen.
We've seen it frequently on Eurosport, some big names not recording a lift at a big championships. So Martinez, 95, oh, and that's her best lift easily.
Well, that's a much better effort. Still chest slightly lower than I'd like to see, but she came out really confident, gave herself a couple of minutes backstage to recompose, refocus, think about the errors that she made on her second attempt, and managed to correct them and execute on a third. 3 out of 3, 95 kilos, and that's a personal best by 2.
Good effort then from Martinez. So a PB for her, a PB for Every. And this is starting to develop into a really nice competition. Now, Bourdinon coming out at 97, did make 93 look quite hard work, but it's always tough to assess things on that first lift. I think if you can just make sure it's successful, we can put a line under that and move on. And she's got 2 moves here to try and put a bit of pressure on those that will come out after her. Now, 100, remember, is Giorgia Bourdinon's PB, the 27-year-old Italian, so this is certainly within range. Oh, it's there.
Slightly wobbly in the shoulders.
Oh, just.
You know, I really want to see her go back to training now and work on a few stability exercises. But oh, there we are. You can see that movement in the shoulders, the movement in the body, the lack of stability is going to cause other injuries if she's not careful. And you can see her holding her elbow. It only takes the smallest tweak for something to go bang. But that's a good lift. 97 kilos, just 3 kilos below her best. Is she going to go for the magic 100?
Wow, wow, that makes you flinch. Seeing some of those movements, the musculoskeletal system, it really is a fabulous machine. But if you think about it, those big muscles controlling all those areas, if those muscles are overridden and you end up taking this weight on a slightly smaller structure, it goes ping.
Oh, it goes
for
ping.
Want of a more technical reference.
It's not uncommon to see an elbow go snap at this kind of level when athletes are pushing the limits. They're pushing what they have done before, pushing into uncharted territory. And if they're not in tip-top shape, if they're not in their physical prime, that's when we risk accidents happening. And it only takes the smallest wobble for something to go wrong. So let's hope she hasn't caused any damage. I think she is going to be going up to 100 because this is we're about to see Likacheva.
Yep, so the youngster.
First attempt.
This is the athlete we've been really keen to see in action, the 19-year-old junior, with the step up onto the big stage. And I must say, behind the scenes, and you often get this from the junior athletes at these major championships, she looked very happy, very relaxed, and looked to be enjoying her first outing. But now I think the nerves are just starting to kick in a little bit. So Likacheva coming in at 100 kilos to open her challenge in this European Championships. Good clean lifting all the way through at the moment. And Likacheva joins the club. Great start from her, and that big exhale as she dropped the weights, I think just shows you the nerves did in fact kick in the end, but that's a nice start.
Well, she's a world-class lifter already, still in the junior ranks. She's proved her class moving through the ranks as a former world youth champion. That's under 17 age category back in 2012, and she was second at the European under 23s 2 years ago. I've got to say this because you just said there, nice clean lifting all the way through this competition. I know this is commentator's fate, but we haven't seen a failed lift, and I've never ever seen a category where there hasn't been probably at least a third of the board that's red. So we're probably going to see a fail now, but nonetheless, that is some impressive lifting.
Yeah, you'd have to say from the point of view of Bourdinon and her previous 2 lifts, then
this is going to be tough.
This is pushing it. So this to equal her personal best then for the Italian at 100 kilos. And right on cue, there was a nasty one due, I'm afraid, for her. She wasn't quite controlling that weight as she would like above her head, and it's that left elbow that's giving her some problems.
Well, it's always worrying when you see a lifter bail out of a lift like that. I actually don't want to see the slow-mo, because that left elbow was so close to going. And she tweaked it on her previous attempt. It was a gutsy effort to come out and give it a go.
This competition warming up very nicely indeed. Nadezhda Lomova, the second of the Russians, up on stage. We've already seen her teammate, the junior Likacheva, with a great lift at 100 kilos and made it look very easy as well. She's got 9 kilos to play with before she gets to her PB. And for Lomova, well, she needs a good snatch competition here. No, can't do it. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, we've gone from a very clean, very disciplined competition to back-to-back misses and nasty ones, and that might be a shoulder issue that will take her out.
She's in trouble right now. Let's just look at the scoreboard a second. She had a 102 posted as a first attempt. She's dropped that down at the last minute to 101. The rules specify that you can change your attempts twice. The chances are the bar had already gone to 100 as she was taking her final attempt. I don't want to see this replay.
Well, knees and shoulders.
Oh, she held on to that too long. She should have let go of that a lot earlier. She knew it wasn't going up. And I'll be honest with you, watching this now, I'm quite worried for her to come out for a second attempt.
Well, on goes the freeze spray, but around the back of the shoulder, you've got some muscles that control the acceleration and deceleration of the shoulder, and that whole rotator cuff area can be a serious issue for so many different athletes, not just athletes lifting these kind of weights. And that's a concern for Lomova. But for Likacheva, flying high and looking very good indeed. Bourdignon at the moment sitting in second position just ahead of Martinez. But the likes of Evry and Kunas and Ostapka will be thinking, great, we've got numbers on the board. We've got a chance to see off one of the big names here if Lomova can't find a snatch. And then that's it. They're in business. Yeah,
well, I think Lomova's in trouble here. That would have hurt. I don't know what damage she's caused. She probably won't know until tomorrow morning, when everything seizes up and gives her some trouble. But this now is the sign of a true champion. When it matters, under pressure, injured, can she come out and execute and put a lift on the board? Going in her favour right now is the adrenaline that's pumping through her body. That's the best painkiller she could have.
So Lomova steps up on stage to try and make this lift second go. 101 kilos, 6 kilos below her personal best, but injured. No, oh dear, no, that's not good. That is not good.
Game over, pull her out.
Well, very brave to come out and go again, but that's clearly a competition-ending injury.
I think that's a dislocation or a partial dislocation of the shoulder, and I think the coaches were slightly irresponsible sending her out again. She's finished. I'm 99.9% sure of that. Game over, which, as we said, yeah, that's out. That shoulder's out. Okay, enough replays now.
Well, it's never good when you see this. But Lomova out of the competition. Well, we've had a bit of everything. We've had a really disciplined and tidy start to this women's 63 kilo category. And then we've had drama. We've had Bourdignon dropping 100k and not looking good. And we've had one of the favourites for a medal, Nadezhda Lomova of Russia, the 24-year-old, who got bronze in the snatch at the last European Championships and then silver in the clean and jerk and overall. Well, I'm afraid she's missed and she's out. Pretty sure she's out with a third lift to come. She's still registering as possibly coming back out, but I can't see that happening. Now, Yulia Kalina, rather disappointingly from her point of view, finished up with the bronze last time out in the Europeans when she was in with a real chance of silver or maybe even better.
Oh, nice.
And that's solid. That's solid at 103. So I think we can safely say Kalina is in business. And it's looking very good indeed for the Ukraine athlete.
Well, if you want a textbook lift, there it was. Look at the focus. She's not coming off celebrating. There's more to be done. Really good position, great extension. You just watch when she hits full extension. Watch how much higher that bar continues to travel as she's dropping under. That's what we call float, and that comes from a tremendous amount of glute and leg power, which is demonstrated through the second phase. Brilliant lifting.
I think we've got a cracking head-to-head here for the gold. Lomova behind the scenes in serious pain. I cannot believe that she will come back to the stage for a third lift.
No, they'll have a doctor on standby right now. Just hope that shoulder is back in okay, but she's going to be out now probably for the next few months. It's going to take a while for that shoulder injury to settle, to recover. She's probably overstretched ligaments or what have you. Never nice to see. And she was our runner-up at last year's Europeans as well.
So the battle for the gold then in the snatch competition. Likacheva to put down the next marker at 105 for the junior.
Oh, hasn't she done that
Wow.
well? Didn't look quite
That's
as
amazing.
easy as Kalina's, but it doesn't matter. It's a good lift, and you wouldn't put it past her having a good attempt at maybe 107, 108.
So Likacheva moves into top spot ahead of Kalina. 105 versus 103. Kalina,
So solid in that receiving position.
I think having seen that lift as well, Kalina will just pop another couple of kilos on. She's not going to push this one too hard, probably just going to go up a single kilo.
She'll go up to probably 106.
Yeah.
Which would put her, I don't know, yeah, put her in the lead on body weight.
Yeah, Lamova actually exactly the same body weight as Likacheva, but that's all over and done with, her arm in a sling. So I think we can safely say that's it for Lamova for today, unfortunately. So the battle for gold down to Likacheva and Kalina. And Kalina coming out at 106, as we expected. This for the lead.
Wow.
And that's very, very good indeed. And Kalina looking superb.
Very nice, very comfortable. I know where my money's going for the gold medal at the moment, bar a silly mistake. She's looking very, very good.
Now, interesting decision for Yulia Kalina here, Michaela. Does she want to post something and give herself a chance in the clean and jerk, or is she just going to go safe here?
Well, oh, goodness me, I would... what call would I make as a coach? I'd probably go...
Depends how hard Likacheva comes out here.
I would have probably gone 106, to be honest, to take the gold medal on the body weight. She's gone 107. This would put her up a kilo.
So 2 kilos up on her last lift, and she did struggle just in that bottom phase. Final lift then of the competition for our youngest athlete, Likacheva, and it was a step too far. So that's it. It's Kalina's gold medal in the snatch. She still has one lift option to go for, and I suspect she'll take that to try and put a bit of distance between her and Likacheva, who's very good in the clean and jerk as well.
She's going for a 110, I think, is the weight she's posted, unless she brings that down. She's already got the gold medal on the snatch, so has nothing to lose. But I think we're going to see Kalina come out on 110. This would be a personal best by 2 kilos if successful.
Yeah, if we go on PBs alone, then Likacheva has a 5 kilo advantage over Kalina in the clean and jerk. So I think it will be useful for Kalina to try and put a bit of distance between her and the youngster. But this is a big call. Interesting though, Likacheva has only put 120 as her opening weight in the clean and jerk, but we'll see if that changes. Certainly got the power to do it. Now Kalina, 110, this for a gold and a healthy lead.
It's there. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Just came out of it.
Well, almost tried. Maybe should have sat
and
for
the
a
hip
fraction
as well.
longer.
That's not good. Yeah, that's not great. We talked about mistakes happening, and another little injury here.
Oh, I should be all right with that. Just going backwards, bailed out okay. Didn't really put any excess strain on the hip. Only got the glutes firing overtime, trying to stabilise herself. I wouldn't be too worried about that.
So maybe more just a bit of cramp, bit of tightening rather than a strain.
None of these athletes are lifting here today completely injury-free. All of them are carrying some kind of aches, pains, niggles. That's the nature of this sport when you're pushing your body to the limits and training the number of hours, number of days, number of sessions that they do. It's tough. You're always carrying some kind of niggle.
What a cracking start to this competition then. Kalina takes the gold in the snatch and she leads, but maybe not with the margin that she was looking for ahead of Likacheva. And Likacheva is still in with a genuine opportunity here. We'll see what sort of form she's in on the clean and jerk. And Bordinon, good performance from her, sitting in at 3rd at the moment. We'll be back to have another look at the snatch lifts after the break. Stay with us.